good night, everyone. Happy Saturday. Today is what, February 12th? Welcome to another NFL slash NBA podcast. And as you know, I am your host, The Voice. And with me tonight, we have Devin and we have Mr. Vincent. I'm surprised how Vincent is free today. Look like he has some big plans for tomorrow and Monday, so he's just gracing with
Wish.
some. How we doing, gentlemen? How we doing?
Yeah,
So do we have any Valentine's Day plans? Do we have anything planned, or is just a regular day for you guys?
Well, I don't
just
know.
regular now. Just get my wife a gift already, so I'm good.
Oh, okay.
She not fussing. Just get her a gift.
Those women who are not fussy, you have to give thanks to those kind of
Yeah,
women. Some women when you spend $5,000, $10,000 on a gift. But anyway, we move on. So the first thing I want to talk about, there were some NFL awards given out. I think it was 2 days ago, and I want to start with the MVP, obviously. And Aaron Rodgers, cemented as the MVP, won the MVP. This is his fourth MVP award. He's only trailing Peyton Manning for regular season MVPs with five. And Vincent, I'll start with you. Do you have any qualms about Aaron Rodgers winning this MVP? I know your thing with Aaron Rodgers, but do you have any
No,
qualms with him winning the
I
MVP, or do you
mean,
think he's well deserved?
no, I believe he deserved it. He played well enough. The other person that I know was up there would have been Tom Brady, in
Mm.
terms of what he was doing during the season. But I trying to think about which other quarterback would have done well enough. I believe it would have been between him and Brady. Um, I believe his team did a little bit better than Brady, so I have no qualms with him getting the regular season MVP.
Okay, and what about you, Devin? Because I know, on all the podcasts that we have spoke on, you and I were in agreement that it's Aaron Rodgers MVP. So,
yeah. Because like I was saying, with even with the Rams, with the Buccaneers and Brady.
mhm.
Key thing is, you know, the quality of teams that they beat. Even though it's numbers. What we're saying, when you look
Hmm.
at
Brady.
Brady numbers and whatever, he probably better than Aaron. But
Yeah.
I was saying, yes, tougher games and the games that he won too. Let's not forget he won some games when like almost 6 or 7 starters were out. So we have to look at
Mhm.
those. You can't ignore that just to say, oh, this man have how many yards passing as compared to him. So he totally deserved it because his regular season performance was great. A lot of times, you know, I think he probably 50-50 games
Mhm.
where he played with most of his starters out or some starters out than him playing with all starters in everybody fit. You know what I mean? So you always have
Mhm.
somebody with a key weapon, not just a little you know insignificant person, so to speak, for want of a better word, but some key people like Adams being out. That's key.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
Air and Jones being out and him running back. That's key. Yeah, so he deserves it. I have no reservation. No reservation.
All right. The next award is defensive defensive player of the year, and that went to T.J. Watt. Obviously he tied the record with Michael Strahan, 22.5 sacks. But he played in two less
One more
games
game.
than Strahan. No, he
Hmm.
actually played in two
It
less
was too. It's
games
too.
because
Oh yeah, because he was out.
yes,
Yeah,
yes, because he
he
was
was
out.
out.
So he has been. I thought that TJ should have won the defensive player of the year last year, as well. Because he has been absolutely great. So, do you guys have anything against? Do you think Aaron Donald should probably win, or Trayvon Diggs because he had 11 interceptions? Do you guys have anything against TJ winning it?
Mm.
Um, I mean, I believe the only person that probably would have you'd have put against him would have been Aaron Donald. He
Mhm.
would have had more sacks, and as I said, would have broken the record. The truth is, Donald. I'm trying to remember some of those games that they would have played because I know that Donald get a lot of double team, a lot of team shift or stunt the line in Donald way, and they would have done somewhat the same with TJ. Probably the only thing I'd say probably Donald have more help on his defensive line to me
Yep.
than what TJ would have had. So I mean I have no issue with it.
All right. What about the coach of the year? So the coach of the year was won by Mike Vrabel of the Tennessee Titans. They won the NFC. They were number one in the not the NFC, the AFC. I'm sorry.
Yes.
They were number one in the AFC. A lot of persons are saying, should have given it to probably um, what's his name again?
Matt LaFleur.
Green, yeah, Matt LaFleur, or could have given it to Sean McVay or even Bill Belichick. Do you guys have any qualms with Mike Vrabel winning the MVP?
I,
I mean, the
I
coach of the year. Mm-hmm.
I was thinking, honestly, I wasn't thinking Matt LaFleur. I was thinking Belichick. I was thinking
Yep.
Belichick in the sense that um before the season, I wasn't expecting this from Patriots. If you
True.
or Vinny was seeing this and saw this coming, then you can speak to
No,
that. But I
no,
didn't see
no,
this coming.
no.
I did not see this coming. So I was saying with Mark Jones and the team, he had some good defensive pieces, but I think they overachieve as a team for me. You know what I mean? And all of that is because it's down to Belichick. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I remember that game against which team when the guy who threw the ball. I think it was against Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you just scheme it up, you just draw plays and the way he coordinated everything, and then he made a big decision at the beginning of the season too.
Mm-hmm.
They try to make it like, okay, it's because of COVID or vaccination. They wanted to cut Cam long time.
Yep.
The plan was to cut Cam, and Cam never helped himself either.
Yep.
You know, so make a big decision. Say he's gonna use this young guy. People are saying, yeah, it's gonna be like a losing season. But yo, I think they overachieved based on the results and where they got them. And I could see it's down to Belichick. It's not down to any single person. Can you pick out a single person from Patriots to say, okay, this person was the key factor? Like you could say TJ Watt, that man win some games for his team. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Aaron
but
Donald, that man make some plays. So I
uh,
can't you can
but
pick out a one
Devin,
or two person, but it's all Belichick. It's just a Belichick imprint on everything. So
yeah, but Devin, but you have to understand, right? When you put things into context, remember that the Tennessee Titans they also lost their best player
Henry.
um from week 8, I believe they did, right? And not only did they win their division with Houston and Jacksonville and the Colts, but they won the whole AFC
Mm-hmm.
with Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, all those persons, and the coach managed to keep the ship sailing because there's a lot of games where Julio Jones wasn't playing.
Mm-hmm.
There were a lot of games where AJ
Mm,
Brown wasn't playing. So I think when you look at the totality of the team, and even though they lost obviously their first game in the playoffs, this is a regular season award, and I think how we got the troops prepared and keep the ship steady. I think I just have to give it to him. I
All right.
think Belichick was good, but I think due to the latter part of the season, they started losing some games, especially being blown out by Buffalo and Buffalo not punting and all that kind of stuff. I think those things play a role in it. I remember Belichick is held to a high standard. So for Belichick to win Coach of the Year, you have to
This
basically
team
have to
would
go
have to go like
undefeated.
15 and
Yeah,
1.
yep. You have to go like undefeated. But let us welcome Mr. Black, Mr.
Yes, sir.
Dwayne Black in the
Yes,
building.
sir.
How you doing, boss?
I'm here. I'm here. Actually, I'm at a receiver. Them have me here all long and the thing not ready yet. So we decide to
Okay.
let me try and hop into the show,
Well,
because
I,
Absolutely.
I
at the
think
grand at the grand finale.
I could have, I was thinking that you're on the birthday celebration same way.
Nah, man, with the
Oh,
birthday, no.
nah.
I was actually, Sir Vincent, I was working as usual.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
all right, boss.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
I saw the thing going on. Yeah,
So,
yeah, yes, Kems, go ahead.
yes, I wanted to get your thoughts on the coach of the year, Mike Vrabel.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah,
agree with it, or do you have somebody else in
tot
mind?
totally, because his three best players at some point, apart from his game manager, Tannehill, his three best players are the two wide receiver and the running back, and they miss games, and he still win the division, the entire AFC. And not only that, look at the quality of teams that they beat. Because the other reason why the Colts didn't make the playoffs, remember I told you, I
Well,
don't trust.
I think Carson Wentz is the reason
Oh,
more than the
and
Titans.
if you remember what I said, James, I do not trust Carson Wentz because he's reckless.
Absolutely,
You did.
And
absolutely. You.
I
Hmm.
told you that the Bengals would be dangerous and the Rams would be dangerous. Even though I did not pick them to go to the Super Bowl, those were my two darkest teams
All
when
right.
we had it earlier.
All right. Since you went there,
Yeah,
let us go in there because for me, I think the Bengals were more lucky than good in this playoff run. So let me
what?
examine it. Let me examine it
Yeah,
and tell you.
yeah.
Against, and I think, Joe Burrow, obviously the quarterback gets a lot of praise, but again, just like Tom Brady, I think the defense helped out Joe Burrow tremendously. Let us talk
Right.
about the games step by step. Against the
Okay.
Raiders, against the Raiders,
Mm-hmm.
Joe Burrow has a chance to seal the game. They went 3-0, right? After they
Right.
went 3-0, Derek Carr gets back the ball, right? Derek Carr about
Right.
to drive them down the field and get a touchdown, win the game. Cincinnati Bengals, they're out of it. And what happened? The defense makes a big play, interception, game is over. All right?
Okay.
That's the
Okay.
defense. I don't I
Okay.
don't think that's Joe Burrow. Let's move on to Tennessee Titans now. Joe Burrow was sacked 9 times in that game.
Right.
But what did Ryan Tannehill do? I don't feel like going to the next round. Let me just throw 3 interceptions and just give my team absolutely no chance. Remember, the game was tied, The game was tied and Ryan Tannehill has the ball. All you have to do now is just make smart decisions. Bam, interception. Joe Burrow gets the ball. Obviously, get them in field goal range.
Yeah.
That field goal kicker get it done. Let us talk about
Yes.
the Chiefs. No
Yeah.
matter what we can say about the Bengals, the Chiefs gave away the game. They were 21-3 rolling.
And
Rolling.
driving, and instead of them kick the field goal, they try to be cute. We understand
Exactly.
all of that.
And
But
then in the second half now, we all know what happened with them. So I'm not saying Cincinnati is not good, but
yeah,
I think
yes,
this
yes,
playoff run they
Kems.
were more lucky.
Kems, I could say the same thing about the Rams too. If the
No, sir.
49ers had a if the 49ers had a good quarterback that was a throwing pick in critical circumstances, they would have been in the Super Bowl
No, sir.
because they had the lead, right?
What are you? What?
They had
Yeah,
the lead.
but
They were up by
so
10 in
didn't
the fourth
didn't
quarter.
Matthew Stafford
And
throw a pick that should have got that I mean they were right there to score on the first drive of the game. Matthew
yes,
Stafford throw a pick. So is
but
no sir.
yeah,
No,
but
no. You
hold
can't.
no, may I use
No,
the
you
same
can't reason. You
analogy?
can't reason
No,
NFL.
man,
Hold on. Well,
they know that you
no,
use to say
no, 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 no,
The
no,
Bengals lucky.
no.
So
Listen.
look, we
No,
don't
listen. No,
lucky.
listen.
All right, hold
No,
on.
listen.
You remember
Why?
that Super Bowl with you remember that Super Bowl that the Patriots came back and beat the Atlanta
Atlanta.
Falcons.
Hmm.
You remember that catch that Edelman had?
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
Wasn't that luck?
Yes.
Anybody talk about that? You
Of
hear
course.
anybody
A
talk?
lot of.
No, but all right.
And
For
Let,
me, luck is a part of the game. If you look
oh,
at every, it's
exactly.
what you do with your
When you
chances. You are going to get chance in a
exactly.
game. It is what you do with your chances that
And what you
determines
do in
the
the
outcome of the
yes,
game. Sometimes you
and the
understand. But
critical
everybody, in fact, more often than not, when you get two close teams. You do have blood. Sometimes it is the ball bouncing one way or the other that determines an outcome of a game. And what do you do when you
Right.
get your chances?
Remember,
Do you make
remember,
opportunity of your chances?
remember,
Because all the
remember in that Super Bowl, doing
yeah,
Eli versus the Patriots. Remember the catch
yeah.
with the brother
Catch
catch
on your
when the
head.
thing,
On
the
him
thing
head.
stuck, the
On him
thing
head,
stuck
him
on the
head.
All him
helmet.
a
That
chance
man
it
have
up on
that man have
Ivy.
no idea. The man have
Yeah,
no
man.
idea where the ball is.
Then a
But
that
it just
make you
stuck.
say you need a luck. You need
Uh,
luck, but
uh,
when you get the luck, what you do with it?
All I'm going to tell you.
but all right, for
Mm,
me, I do believe that
I'm not saying I'm
Bengals
not yeah.
Bengals part to the Super Bowl,
mm,
they would have gotten some chances more than what Rams would have received in terms of the
Right.
games that they have played, and they just make use of them. In fact, their defense turn up at points where because I don't think we really give their defense enough credit because throughout the season, it's not like a defense that you look at. I think they are a more middle of the pack to 20 something in terms of defensive ratings that the Bengals defense is. They have showed up for the playoff. I mean, Tennessee is no offensive team to write home about. They would have faced though Mahomes, and in the second half, Mahomes just
Rose,
disappear. The truth is that we
Rose.
have seen Mahomes do done that throughout the season, and it is why some persons were not so much loving the Kansas City Chiefs because they have not really played like they did in the last 2 or 3 years. Their offense have really been up and down, and it came back in the AFC Championship game. Um, um, and get them. You understand? But Bengals, they have made use of their chances in terms of how they have played. The thing I love about Joe Burrow is that the man is just calm despite the pressure. For a quarterback to get 9 sacks, still throw for over 300 yards, I don't think any of those sacks resulted in a fumble. I don't remember. He tend to hold
No.
on to the ball.
mm,
He tend to, even though he gets sacks, he doesn't seem to get flustered, which is a
He's
big
gonna
thing about him. You understand? He doesn't seem to get flustered. You understand? Him just seem to
Yes,
just
and to and
naturally
to add
progress.
and to add to your point, Vincent.
Mm-hmm.
Carson Palmer, who was a Cincinnati Bengal at one point,
Mm-hmm.
um, he came out and he said, that's a big thing. That's a big
Mm-hmm.
part of it because as a
Mm-hmm.
quarterback, when you're getting hit left, right, and center,
Mm-hmm.
it takes a toll on you. Like
Mm-hmm.
it demotivates you, it
Mm-hmm.
make you angry, make you sad.
And
But
it
Joe
didn't
Burrows is
seem to
always
phase him.
absolutely,
Didn't seem to
absolutely.
phase him any at all. And the truth is, if you look on his that last year, that year in college when he totally dominated college like probably no other quarterback I can
Mm-hmm.
remember. You understand? Totally dominate.
Mm-hmm.
And then come in the I know he got injured last year. I think he got injured last year and stuff like that. Come back this year. He just have a knock. And I hear one of those pundits was saying that in him have a little Tom Brady-esque in him, but them just seem to just remain calm and cool under pressure. You understand? Because
Absolutely.
the ability to remain calm under pressure is is a big thing in sport. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? It's a big thing in sport.
All
Well,
right. So
I'm
all on
gonna
the
say
doing. All on one second doing. So Vincent, with that being
hmm
said, I
hmm
just need your pick right now.
Just my
Who
pick. You don't want me to tell
who
you
is
about the
going
game.
to who is you can tell me about the game as well. Who is going to win the Super Bowl?
I believe Rams is going to win the Super Bowl, and it is Rams Super Bowl to lose. I believe Rams can win the Super Bowl in a blowout. As a matter of fact,
Absolutely.
it is their Super Bowl to lose. For me, it come down to both the offensive and defensive line. You're talking about Aaron Donald. You're talking about Leonard Floyd. You're talking about Von Miller. Talking about even Ed Gaines, and there are a few players that they rush in and out of that Rams defensive line. Trust me. And when you look at Bengals offensive line, it is they are 25th and lower. in the league in terms of as an offensive line.
Okay.
When you look, my biggest thing with Rams defense was always their run defense. I believe that was their weakest part of the defense. And even the games that they lose, even though Matthew Stafford would have had turnovers in those games, it was the run defense that was a problem. But when you look in the playoffs, they held Cardinals, I think, to about 53 or something yards. They held 49ers to 50 yards. 20 rush, 49ers, which is a big rush team. They held Tampa to about 51 yards. So the defense stood up and hold that rush. Mixon was, I think, the third leading rusher coming into this or coming out of the season. And even though you can just look at the Bengals line and say, listen, the quarterback we're going for. I really hope that Rams pay attention to that run defense as well. Stop that run on your way to the quarterback. I believe it's their games to lose. Cincinnati have at one chance, and that is Rams turning over the ball. We know that Matthew Stafford can turn over the ball and throw pick six, and that's a problem. He had a turnover against 49ers. That was early, so they were able to overcome that. We have seen them against Tampa Bay. There were 4 turnovers. So even though Stafford didn't throw a pick, I think Cam Akers had 2 pick, Cup, which is unlikely, had him had a turnover. So they had 4 turnovers that allowed Tampa Bay back in that game. Or else it would have been a blown out game. You understand?
Yeah.
I do
And
believe
not only 4 turnovers spaced out, 4
yeah,
turnovers
at
back to
integral,
back
right,
to
back
back
to back.
to back.
Correct. You
Yep.
understand? I
Yep.
do believe that if Rams hold on to the ball easily, you understand? It is a blowout. But as Dwayne said earlier, the Cincinnati defense, even though they were not so good in the regular season, have shown up in the postseason like Tampa Bay last year, and they have been getting turnovers. 2 pick against Mahomes, pick against 3 pick we mentioned against Tennessee. So they have been getting turnovers. So, but I do believe that if Rams just play how they should play and just hold on to the ball, should be an easy win.
All right. So
And I'm probably
Devin,
looking at 35-21.
35-21. So that's
Right.
a 2 touchdown. So Devin,
Yo,
the spread is 4.5 minus 4.5 for the Rams. That's the last spread that I saw. Listen, I believe that Sean McVay has a little Pep Guardiola into him. Sometimes he tries to overcomplicate stuff. Sometimes you're too smart for your own good. So
That is true.
instead of keep it simple, stupid, I would say that even when they played against the Patriots in that Super Bowl, obviously you had Jared Goff and still, but I don't think Jared Goff was 3 points. I don't think the Patriots defense was that great or could have only hold them to 3 points. But I think Sean McVay sometimes he has a little Pep Guardiola syndrome where he just tries to overthink it. But this time, he has been there before. I think he's a bit more calm. I think he's a bit more calm now, understand the situation and understand the task at hand. What I want you to talk about, Devin, I want you to talk about, some of the key players. Definitely, Odell Beckham Jr. has got a bad rap, since he left the New York Giants. And a lot of players have come out to his defense. Even Ryan Clark has said, hey, a lot of persons were talking about Odell being a cancer in the locker room, but you have seen where, he has went into the Rams organization. And I've always said this across many platforms, across many different sports. Culture matters, right? Who is your coach matters. And blasted, who is your quarterback matter. Matthew Stafford lining up behind center versus Baker Mayfield. A lot of wide receivers want Matthew Stafford throwing them the football, right? So I want to get your pick on who you believe is going to win the game,
all right.
and I also want you to talk about the keys what you think for that team to win the game.
All right. So the first thing you had said, what I hear you say is like the key players, all right? So
Mm-hmm.
so the first thing I was looking at, and I hear people, but I saw some show where they were talking about it, and I look up at it myself, right? The receivers, it's the first time ever, like in the Super Bowl, where the top 2 receivers for the season, 1 and 2, Rams, Cooper Kupp and Jamar Chase will be in the Super Bowl. They're meeting in the Super Bowl, the top 2 within the season. So if I'm the defensive coach or the coach in any part of the coaching team for the other team now, you're gonna look to say, all right, guess what? These 2 guys can't beat McKems. You know what I mean? It have to come back to your favorite term where their greatness. It's just their greatness. I'm gonna do whatever it is that these guys don't beat me. I have to do whatever it is. If it means I have to double team them and somebody else beat me, then fine. And even if I double team them and they manage to outfox that double team, then that's greatness, which you always allude to. You really can't stop greatness. Because if you do what you're supposed to do with all your game planning and a man still come with his game, right? And outfox you, then that's just greatness, and you can't stop that greatness. But those two key players, you're not gonna let them beat you. Cooper Cup, So whatever it is, you try not to give them like that single coverage, and you gotta avoid like the big play with them. And we're looking at the script is just written for a Hollywood. You know what I mean? It's just like an Hollywood script. Because it's at their home, the Super Bowl venue was set already. And it's just that it happened that the team who is there is their home stadium. It's there. So it's like a Hollywood movie, and the script is written, with another star this is Beckham. His story is so interesting. Coming from New York with all those things being said, going to Cleveland with the bum quarterback, and then now he's in a right situation now.
Yep.
So it's like a Hollywood script written, with all the star pieces in there. Matthew Stafford, oh my gosh, his story is also great, Kems.
Yep.
So those key stars, the stars, is just written whereby the actual movie though that's gonna be showing tomorrow, premiering tomorrow. It's only gonna be Rams. Rams gonna be the winner. And one of the reasons why my concern for the Bengals is that we talk about Burrow getting hit and getting sacked, and we said it's calm, and all the stats are there for the pass rush of this Rams defense and everything. But Kems, one thing I'm concerned about is him getting hit and getting hurt. So him can get hit and come back and him stay calm and him okay and he can be calm. But with Donald and all these the pass rush, and they say he's one of the top pass rush team, and everybody getting to him if they keep getting to him.
Miller too.
You know what I mean? And just like both of you mentioned, and you're correct with it, they get to him, but his mental space allowed, but he's physically okay, his mental capacity allowed. Okay, he can still calm, he can still give you a 30-yard throw, even though he get it 3 times. But if he's physically incapacitated, Kems, that's my concern.
That's it. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Kems, let me give you this.
No, they're gonna cover the spread. And I'm looking for one of my favorite score. 27.
Kems, let me give you this. Even as Devin mentioned the receivers in terms of Chase and Cup, right? What's his name? Ramsey from Rams. You know that, them say he's a man marker and stopper. He was on, because I went back and I looked at the stats, he was on Mike Evans about 69% of the time, which was the highest for the season. He was shadowing Mike Evans again that Tampa Bay. Because we know that Evans was really the major threat that Tom Brady had, about 69 times. But what you realize is that when they put him in the slot, Ramsey really doesn't cover as well from the slot, playing out of the slot. And I think it was out of the slot that Mike Evans cut in and then cut back out and got that touchdown that really bring them back into the game. So even as Devin mentioned it, that is something to see exactly what is it that Rams do with Ramsey as it relates to Chase. Do they bring him down into the slot? What do they do with him? That's going to be an interesting matchup at the playoff.
Absolutely, totally agree. And you have to remember, just like with the Rams, the Bengals do the same thing with what Rams do with Cooper Cup, Bengals do the same thing with Chase. Like them put him in the backfield sometimes so he can run the football, put him in at the slot, line him up against whoever. Just put him in some different offensive sets to get him going. They do the same thing with Cooper Cup. For me, and I'm going to get to Dwayne here. To me, what I would do, I am double teaming Jamar Chase, and then I'm taking on anybody else one-on-one. Chase not beating me. Make T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd and them when they beat me.
I agree.
Jamar Chase do him not beat me. Same thing with
Higgins
Cooper
can
Cup.
do.
Same thing with Cooper Cup. Yeah, I'll take my chances with Higgins. Same
Okay.
thing with Cooper Cup, and I make Cooper Cup beat me. Odell, Jefferson, them man there to beat me, but I'm not letting Cooper Cup beat me. But Dwayne, I want to
Yeah,
get to you because a lot of talk I've been making about Joe Burrow, you included, and a lot of
yeah,
people are saying, "Oh, his second year, and he's in the Super Bowl," and people are making it seem like this is the first time this happened. Remember, Dan Marino made it to the Super Bowl in his second year. He didn't win, but he made it to the Super Bowl.
yes,
Big Ben actually won the Super Bowl in his second season, right? And
yes,
obviously it's a long time,
yes,
so Big Ben don't
yes.
get that amount of love,
And Tom
right?
Brady.
Tom Brady, I mean, he wasn't the starter.
Yes,
He wasn't the
yes.
starter, but
Hold
he
on.
also won in his second season as well. So,
Right.
with that being said, I want you to tell me, Dwayne, who you think is going to win this game, and I want you to tell me what do you think that Joe Burrow have more Super Bowls to go? Because Dan Marino, he thought that he had a lot more Super Bowls to go, and hey,
Never made it back.
so tell me what you think.
Well, I'm going with the upset, right? And the key to Bengals winning the game is the screen game.
My breaker.
Nah, yeah, boss. All right, Gary, welcome. I like Gary. I like when you dress up and you look very nice and professional. Very handsome young man today. How you doing, boss?
Church me I come from. I say, all right, I'm good, I'm
Church.
good, I'm good. I'm
Yeah,
here,
I
you know.
mean, whenever
Getting.
I've been the show last weekend, and you already told me
Yeah,
that you
man, I
wouldn't be
say,
able to be on the Mills podcast, so we are here again today.
good.
So I'm going to ask you the same question because in our little Facebook little prediction thing, I saw that you
Mm-hmm,
predicted the Bengals to
mm-hmm,
win the Super Bowl. I don't know
mm-hmm.
if you're doing it to try and win the competition, or that's what you actually feel. So Gary, can you tell us and the viewers who you think is going to win the Super Bowl and why?
All right. Boy, I don't know. I that's a factor picking it to win a competition as well, because I come in, I'm fifth place now, so most person gonna pick the Rams. But I was thinking about it this week, you see, and I was just looking at the season so far, for both teams.
Mm-hmm.
Before I get to the analytics and talking about everything,
Yeah.
the Rams are the touted favorites, right? Because remember they sell the house and car and land, and they cash in the bank, to get them over the hump, because they've been to a Super Bowl already 2 years ago. Jared Goff couldn't get over the hump against Tom Brady and the Patriots. They got Stafford, acquired Von Miller, Jalen Ramsey, later on got OBJ. So they are stacked to push all the decks, to the middle of the table, saying this is it. You understand? They had a topsy-turvy season. They finished, which I think was about fifth seed thereabout. Matthew Stafford kind of struggled towards the end, of the season. He had 4 pick sixes. You know, while you see the Bengals, nobody could have dreamed of them going to the Super Bowl. Nobody. If you ask one person that the Bengals would even make the playoffs, they would be lying, because remember, their Joe Burrow's first official full season of start, he was injured. They came on strong 10-6. They beat the number one seed. They beat the favorites in
Hold on, Gary. Hold on, Gary.
mhm,
Also remember, keep in mind,
mhm.
Lamar Jackson was running away with that division until he got hurt.
True, true.
Let's remember that, right?
Well, that's a fact. That's a fact. But
Let's also remember that flipping, as bad as Baker Mayfield is, he was playing with one arm as well. So Bengals, as again, I said that the Bengals got lucky.
well,
They will,
well, to be honest, I don't even want to bring up the Baker thing. If Baker couldn't play with two arms, we don't nobody with that, then wouldn't do that Baker no special. But every team get breaks along the way, and this is a fairy tale Cinderella story for the Bengals. And I see what they are doing, because the defense has actually gotten better in the playoffs, right? I'm looking at the Bengals defense, and throughout the progression of the playoffs, they have improved, right? Joe Burrow hasn't played lights out this season. I think he has about 4 touchdowns 5 touchdowns and 2 interceptions over the 3-game span leading into the Super Bowl. So he has been cool, calm under pressure, and he has won. He hasn't lost any game. You have some quarterbacks that they play and you are, they are a liability. He has been there and he has kept himself cool under pressure. The game with 9 sacks. I'm looking at all of the things through the analytical side. I'm putting everything together. And I'm saying that I believe that this Cinderella story will culminate in a big upset for the Bengals. The key will be, for me, going into the game and looking into the game, the key for me for the Bengals will really be the defense, right? Joe Burrow, we know what he has been this season and in the playoffs, but I think their defense this coming into the playoffs, in the regular season, they weren't top notch, but in the playoffs, they have really excelled, allowing under 20 points per game for the season, in the playoffs. So I think the defense will be key. Trey Hendrickson, acquired from New Orleans, I think he has around 14 sacks. This season, playing lights out in the front four. So I think that will be key for them. I don't trust Matthew Stafford. As much as they say, right, he's an upgrade from Jared Goff, I am not comfortable. Look, I'm looking at the last game against Tampa Bay in the NFC Championship, and I'm not saying that he cost them, but there were some critical mistakes made by the offense. Cam Akers fumble a couple of times. Their Cooper Cup. I'm looking at this game and I'm saying, listen, if the defense can get pressure on Matthew Stafford, I think that will be key because he's prone to make mistakes.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Can I ask
he's
this?
prone to make mistakes.
But
Absolutely not.
ask this.
Hold on,
Go ahead.
Let me tell you something, Gary. Matthew Stafford is the number 1 quarterback in the NFL when pressured. Number 1. Not number 2, not number 3.
True.
Number 1 quarterback. So,
you don't want to bring pressure.
And you saw what happened in that same Tampa game when they
bring
tried to bring pressure.
Yeah.
And he does. Remember, Matthew Stafford play. Hey, let us be clear, Gary. Let us be clear, And I told
Go
you,
ahead. I see that you're a big Matthew Stafford fan.
I'm not even a big Matthew Stafford fan, but let me tell you, if Patrick Mahomes was in Detroit, Patrick Mahomes wouldn't be Patrick Mahomes. If Drew Brees was in Detroit, Drew Brees wouldn't be Drew Brees. Listen, when I tell you, Matthew Stafford was in such turmoil in Detroit, and he still managed to make the playoffs. Obviously, all right, look at it this way, and Vincent can appreciate this analogy. Let's say, Vincent, I grew up with a rich family. I went to prep school. You not talk to you, Vincent, right? I went to prep school. I get allowance. Everything was good for me in life. But boy, you go primary school, boy, sometimes you can't even have lunch. You can't even have lunch money to go to school. You have to fight it out. And then the two of go out in the work world. Which one of the success stories you would be more interested in hearing about? The one who was always rich, or the one who was poor and then coming to his own to gain success? That is Matthew Stafford for me. That is Matthew Stafford for me, because Matthew Stafford was 13 years in Detroit. The man was butter bruised. When I say butter bruised, the man was butter bruised in Detroit, and now he finally has a coach. He finally has weapons. He finally has a culture that is about winning. And as soon as he had that,
Kems, let me make a point. I'm here bringing that story to me. I don't want people, and I hear this nonsense about. Remember, the Rams were in the Super Bowl 2 years ago with Jared Goff, right? Okay. So them getting Matthew Stafford and going to the Super Bowl is not really an achievement. Matthew Stafford has his wealth of riches. The wealth of riches. He needs to win it. He needs to win it and go over the top.
No. That's absolute rubbish. Let me tell you why that is rubbish.
Why is it rubbish?
No, I'm going to tell you. If
Trey Lance
now come for the 49ers and make it to the Super Bowl, are you going to tell me,
no, but that's a different. No, you can't use that.
Cannot be a different story.
Different.
It's the same thing.
Different.
Are you going to tell? Hold on, Gary. Are you going to tell me
Different
that
kettle of fish.
Jimmy Garoppolo got the 49ers to the Super Bowl? So if Trey Lance get them to the Super Bowl, it's no accomplishment.
No, you
still
can't look at them
remember
absolute. It's based on what they had and what he was.
No.
All right, look at it.
Hold
Remember,
on, Gary. When I don't talk, brother. When I don't talk,
all right, go
let me talk.
on.
Remember, also look at the competition that Matthew Stafford had to beat in order to make it to the Super Bowl.
No
versus
problem.
the competition versus the competition. He had to beat Kyler Murray. He had to beat flipping.
Wasn't playing good to the last part of the season. Go on, continue.
Well,
Wasn't playing special in the last.
Had to beat who wanna call the GOAT. Had to beat him.
All right, fine.
Had to beat the GOAT at the GOAT. Not only
that's a good win.
At the GOAT. And then again, you had to beat the 49ers who have had the Rams ticket for the last 6
No,
games.
I'm not taking anything away from that.
No, you are. You absolutely.
But I'm just saying that I brought up that point to say persons are acting as if this is uncharted waters for the Rams. Him being with the Rams and him going to the Super Bowl with this team, it is not. I don't want person to make it seem like it is this monumental achievement.
It is
because it was done before. It was done 2 years ago.
When last Aaron Rodgers made it to the Super Bowl?
No, but look at the team. Compare the two teams. You cannot compare the Rams team versus the
Green Bay. I believe
the Rams are better
than the Rams team.
No, not
right now.
Defense. The Rams defense.
The Green Bay defense played that better than the Rams.
Green Bay Packers.
No man, come on guys. The Rams defense is.
No, Gary.
You are telling me, guys. You know, look at here. You know, think at Aaron Donald, Von Miller, Ramsey.
Don't look at it. Don't look at the.
I'm not looking at the players exclusively. I placed that to say, listen, the Rams defense, statistically, it might not be as good as the Packers defense, but the Packers defense overachieved towards the last part of the season.
They overachieved, they played better. You understand?
I would take the Rams defense.
My only question to you, Gary.
Defense over
Gary, my question to you is simple: 49ers defense versus Bengals defense. 49ers defense. What?
The Niners defense are better.
All right. And the thing about the Niners defense, why they give Matthew Stafford so much trouble, is that Niners defense really don't bring pressure enough.
I know they don't.
Front seven is what get to you. So anyhow, Bengals is relying on bringing pressure. They are going to be in problem all night. That's the only thing I say. They will be in problem all night if it's pressure they are bringing. I'm not saying they won't get.
They don't have to bring pressure though. They don't have to bring pressure.
Well, let's see.
Hey, listen. And Devin, I don't know if you want to say anything on this, Devin, but I'm gonna say one last thing, Gary. Getting to the Super Bowl, nobody believe getting to the Super Bowl is easy.
I never said it was easy.
No, you are done playing.
No, but I'm saying you guys want to put. We're not talking about the Bengals' achievements with Joe Burrow. Listen, what
achievement? What achievement?
What do you mean what achievement?
Achievement?
No, you see what the Bengals did is far more an incredible feat than what the Rams did in terms of reaching. Don't do that. Don't do that. Kems, nobody will do that. Nobody with the sense. I know you're big on the Rams for winning the Super Bowl, but don't do that.
Let me tell you something.
Come in and talk.
David, I'm gonna make a talk. David, give me 1 second. Let me tell you something, Gary. Every game that the Rams win, the Rams had to fight to win the game. Like the Rams, the game wasn't given to them, apart from the Tampa game where they tried to lose it. But every game, and remember, the Bengals, lose to the Chicago Bears, the New York Jets.
Rubbish that enough team lose. Every team lose to some rubbish teams in this season. You can't use that.
The Rams only lost to playoff teams. The Rams don't lose to scrub teams. So all I'm saying to you is that what the Rams is doing, it is earned. What Cincinnati doing is more luck than earned.
Are you serious? No, I'm not going to have a serious time. If Kevin can say, look, I have nothing else to say. That don't make no sense to me. No sense.
I the only thing we disagree with from the beginning when you say like Bengals is just like they get lucky. All right.
Rams are more lucky than Bengals, if you ask me.
All right. You remember when remember when we had an NBA podcast earlier, and this guy, what the guy name again? Like a Indian looking guy. Come on here, name again.
Oh, I remember the
BJ.
guy.
VJ, right?
DJ, yeah.
And VJ was saying, okay, with the basketball, and said, all right, Phoenix went to the finals last year, but they got lucky. And why he said that they got lucky? Each time for each team he came up again, there was a significant piece missing due to injury, or they got some injury or some other
Injury.
injury. Let's put it on to injury during the game, one or more. And he lay it out against each facts, and people are disagreeing. Other people, I hear people putting it saying it too. But what you're explaining with the Bengal situation, it had nothing to do with injury or COVID or anything. It's just bad decision making of the other team. So you can't call it luck. It's just bad decision making for the other team or the coaching staff
You know how much
or the
luck
players in there.
Rams get?
They had the necessary personnel, but it was just bad decision making. So if you making bad decision, Kems, and you in the case where it could be the case you have 3 consecutive games, 3 different teams, and they make bad decisions, I don't think me on the receiving playing those teams is considered as luck, because that's what it's not a case where you have the quarterback went missing or other people went missing. It's just bad decision making by the opponent. That's not luck.
Yeah,
So I don't see them getting to the Super Bowl in that fashion, and you say it's
As
luck.
luck.
The only thing I'll say to you, Gary, I don't think the Rams were lucky. The Rams played, won the game. They really should have
None of them
blown
were
out
lucky.
Tampa.
None of them were lucky.
No, that's what I'm saying.
And
I'm
even
not saying the
against
Rams are lucky,
Van-
really. No, I'm just pushing back at them.
I understand
No,
what
you-
Kims is saying with the Bengals, and that's why I say I'm not going to say luck. I mean, they got some turnovers that were, as Devin just said, bad decision by this quarterback. You understand? Tennessee quarterback, I'm not even too sure what he was doing. You understand? Mahomes, and as I said, the truth is Mahomes has not been the same for this season as he was the last 2 seasons. You understand? They really should have lost to the Bills. Understand, if you ask me.
Yeah, and
So I mean,
Kem says right, then win tougher games, I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree with that. I can't dispute
yeah.
that. Rams win tougher games. The final thing what I say with Gary now, I'm gonna agree with Gary, is the aspect of say, okay, because Goff went there 2 years ago, and now
then it's not
and
easy.
then-
No,
and
but
then-
what
and
I'm
then-
saying, Devin,
and
I'm
then,
not saying that. I'm just saying to you that
it's
him.
no big thing, and he has to win.
No, but what I'm saying, persons are acting as if the Rams are this underdog team, that this team, it reached to the
but you
Super Bowl
think-
and nobody
no,
never expected
no,
this
but-
and whatever.
no,
The Rams
no,
are one of
of
the
course.
favorites pre-season to win the Super Bowl.
Not
Guys,
true.
don't stop
That's
acting
not
like
true.
you know what the
That's
sport.
not true. That's not true. Again, and let me tell you something. When
Why
they
is that
went to
not true?
Super Bowl, hold on now.
No, they were
When
one
they
of the
went-
favorites, not the
when they-
prohibited favorites.
No,
Remember,
they weren't even.
I would say luck
No, man,
is
they
why
were
they
one.
got
Check
to
it
the
out.
first Super
Tim,
Bowl.
go and check it out.
Remember
Hey,
that?
when
Remember
they-
that pass interception against New Orleans? That is what sent Rams to the Super Bowl. Clear pass interception against New Orleans.
Yeah, I remember
and
that. That was
yeah.
the remember
but
that.
NFC Championship game.
Hey, remember this, not only that, but remember that it was a different kind of Rams were playing. They were more focused on the running game, Todd Gurley. Everything was built around Todd Gurley and the running game and that defense. All Jared Goff did have to do is don't screw it up. But I can guarantee you this. In the Super Bowl tomorrow, Matthew Stafford not going to score them 3 points in the Super Bowl. I can guarantee you that for sure. And if Matthew Stafford is ever supposed to lose that game, that man going to throw 400 odd yards, 4 or 5 touchdowns, and going down swinging. The man is a baller, and the man is one of the... Remember, when this man was coming out of Georgia, this man was the number 1 pick. That's why sometimes I say I don't really like number 1 picks, because number 1 picks, you're expected to save a franchise. But if you go round 2, you probably end up in a good situation with a good team. All right? And this man, what this man has done, and if you look at this man's numbers, and numbers don't tell the full story, but the numbers that he had in Detroit, if he was on just a decent team, I think he would have already made it to a Super Bowl. But tomorrow, you Gary, you bad mind Gary, you will see.
No, but with
You
bad
will
minded.
see.
No,
You
I don't
will
know
see
why you're
what will
bad mind the Bengals,
I'm not.
Because why you bad mind the Bengals?
Hey,
These are monumental achievements. Listen, when them win the Super Bowl, I want to hear from you. The first man come on the page. I like the Bengals team. They are the underdogs. They are gonna play loose tomorrow. There are gonna be a lot of tightness in the Rams camp, because we should have been here. We sell the house and car, and Lana will push everything to the decks. They will be playing. Remember, the Bengals don't have nothing real play for because they should be here. So when you're playing in a monumental game, no
because you make it seem like Rams is an overwhelming favorite for tomorrow.
No, that is the point I'm making. I am saying the Rams are the favorites. And remember, they're
not an overwhelming favorite. You're taught like
no, I never said they're overwhelming. I'm just saying that remember the Bengals are the team
what
that
you mean by when you say no Bengals are gonna play free and
no, because remember they are the underdogs and they shouldn't have. Remember, I said their story, Everybody was looking for Kansas City. They were looking for. Remember,
Gary, hold on there, Gary.
What?
Hold on, because I forgot wrap up and start the NBA. I wrap up and start the NBA show. But let me tell you, Gary, I know so Super Bowl work. I don't know if you ever play sports at any level. You don't go into it and say, well, hey guys, I'm the underdog, so I don't have any pressure on me. Trust me.
I never said there was no pressure. They are playing with less pressure. And nobody can tell me they are playing with less pressure. They would be playing with less pressure to me.
I don't
you think so. Them have more pressure on the Rams? The Rams have more pressure to win? Remember, look at the team. I personally think anybody disagree with me? Vincent, you don't think the Rams have more pressure?
I believe they have more pressure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because he has been in the league for 13 years, and people is saying that you didn't have a team. Now you have a team. You have all these receivers. You have a defense. You are on pressure. Sean McVay, just as when him they said earlier, this genius that people have him as, will have to step up. We'll have to step up.
All right, guys. So I just need a yes or no from you guys. That's it. Yes or no, I need to move on to the NBA podcast. Matthew Stafford wins the Super Bowl. Is he a Hall of Famer? Yes or no?
Whoa.
Yeah.
No, I answer for all of them.
That needs some more thought.
Kem, I'll answer this by saying, you see, and I've heard this rule, a woman here with this, one of them media pundits. You see, if you ask a question about somebody being a Hall of Famer, and you have to think about it, not a Hall of Famer.
Okay.
Yeah, but you have to think about it a little bit too much then. Yeah, so I would say no. Need to do a little more. Some more.
All right, gentlemen. Well, I'm telling you, based on his numbers and stuff, and who else to go in the Hall of Fame, this man winning a Super Bowl, we're getting into the Hall of Fame.
No, man, based on what is happening with the Hall of Fame now, I think he'll make it. But I'm saying that I think the players, most of the players now accept that the Hall of Fame voting, the level, it kind of come down. A lot of these players voting. So.
All right. So now we are definitely going to move on to NBA podcast, and we are now joined by Mr. Cream.
Yeah.
All right. Hey guys. So obviously, we have to start off with the big blockbuster trade, right? But just for full disclosure, when James Harden decided to go to the Knicks, you see that guy named Cream? We couldn't tell that man say the Knicks now win a championship.
Who no control him?
Oh gosh, man! When them man say, I'm going to the moon. Oh, can't stop with offense. Hey, all I'm going to say, that was a failure by the Knicks. And again, I must say,
failure.
Let me tell you where the failure started for me. This is where the failure started for me. When Kyrie came out and Kyrie said, hey, I don't even think we have a head coach. Some days I can be the head coach. Some day, remember when you went on KD podcast? Some day KD is the head coach. We have different head coaches on this team. I don't think you totally undermine Steve Nash. And, we saw definitely what Kyrie did over the season. But let us talk about the trade. James Harden and Paul Millsap is now in Philly, and the Brooklyn Nets have gotten Ben Simmons, Andre Drummond, Curry, and some Joe first round picks. I don't really love that first round pick business. So let me start with Cream. I'm going to start with you, right? And again, obviously, everything is hypothetical here because we don't know who really and truly win the trade. But based on what you see, tell me, who do you think win the trade, both short term and long term, and what do you now expect from your Brooklyn Nets?
I think both teams can claim victory in this trade. Short term. Long term is definitely Brooklyn because they got younger, and with those two first round picks, that can help solidify them in the future.
Mhm.
Um, how it all fits now, I think it can work for both teams. Harden and Embiid can be a good 1-2 punch there in Philly, but
Mhm.
I'm still not convinced. I'm still have some reservations on how those two actually are going to play together. I think the fit, it's a more seamless fit, bringing in Ben Simmons into Brooklyn, than it is going to be for Harden and Embiid to figure out how to play with each other and maximize each other's strength. So definitely, I think as I said, both teams can really right now claim victory because both teams with the trade has improved their chances.
Mhm.
Definitely.
Um,
All right. All right. So hold on, Vincent. Hold on. I'm going to get to you. I know you're very eager to talk your rubbish. Your rubbish that you have been spewing.
yeah,
You have been
I'm going to
spewing
talk because
rubbish all week.
I'm going to run leave you a little, but I just want to talk about the trade. But you go, I'll wait on that.
Yeah. All right. So Vincent, I'm going to let you speak, Vincent. But I wanted to look at it. I believe James Harden has played his best basketball under Daryl Morey. And obviously, Daryl Morey is not any coach. He's not any coach, but he is now the president of basketball operations. He was the GM in Houston, and it seemed like him and James Harden have a really, really, really good relationship, right? No, we don't know what Ben Simmons is like. We haven't seen Ben Simmons play any form of basketball since last summer. So we don't know. But what we do know is that the last time we saw him, one, he was afraid to shoot. Two, two, he shot the worst free throw percentage in playoff history, right? So he
You
can't
can't
be
ask
in the
someone a
game.
question without creating a narrative.
Yeah, I tell you, him a
No,
lead.
him love set up the thing, man, so the
Yeah,
people man know want switch
him a
people
lead.
view.
Hey,
Him a
Because
him
lead,
try him
Billy.
try to get you to his side. Him lead
Him
you
a
into
lead.
yeah,
his side.
Him a
no,
he must be
lead.
trying to ask the
I
question.
stand to
Why
the
am I
critics
trying?
them.
Criticizing the youth.
yeah, hey,
Go with it.
no.
Yeah,
I
man.
am giving Vincent all the facts so he can analyze the thing good. Vincent, also remember that
Mhm.
on that team you have sensitive KD, you have sensitive Ben Simmons, you have Kyrie who so I think is a sensitive team. So you tell me now, Vincent, who won the trade?
Um, in fact, I could start when you mentioned that the best we have seen Harden was in Houston. I probably could say the best we have seen Harden in the playoff was when he was at OKC that 1 year. When he actually brought OKC back against the Spurs when they were down 2-love, and he played pretty well in the finals. Russ made some mistake as he's prone to do. That would have cost, even though I believe Miami was really good. But to me, that's the best. All right. I said it and you hear me say it. Harden and Howard, we had some farmer problem there. They just couldn't fit. Harden and Steve Petrie, problem. um, we have seen
Harden
Harden
and Ross.
with KD and Kyrie, problem. Harden and Ross, problem. There's one constant there, eh? Harden. All right. Harden tend to play this or have adapted to this dribble basketball. And one of the things that came out, don't know true it is, when marriage break up, you always hear all sort of things left, right, and center. Sometimes you don't know what is the truth. You understand? But they were saying that Harden wanted to be the focus of the offense, which I find really interesting because I don't see how Harden would want to be the focus above
It's
KD
crazy.
in an offense. That makes
It's
no
crazy.
sense to me. You understand? But in Philadelphia, he will have to adapt to Embiid being the focal point of that offense, or else they're not going anywhere. You understand? I have seen Harden failures year after year in the playoff, and I do not trust him. Ben Simmons is another one. We see him last year, a major failure, and I don't know where his mind or his headspace is at this moment,
Mhm.
and that's a
Yep.
big thing. You understand? I
Yep.
agree he's younger. I am hoping that with some sports science and psychologists and everybody can get to him, work with him, get his mentality and his mental toughness up to speed. What I do know is that, as Cream said, in terms of just fit, he would be a better fit in terms of the trade right off the top. You understand? He can fit in with what KD and Kyrie is doing. Kyrie, as you say, is there's not. I don't know what else need to be said about Kyrie and stuff. Which one of them win the trade? I am concerned for both team, and I am waiting to see how they progress going forward. It should be that Philly should have a greater impact, especially the fact that Kyrie's team to be in and out. That going to be a problem going forward. This in and out thing, I don't see how that team going to work. You understand? So at the end of the day, I do believe Philly. For me though, I still believe Philly gave up too much. I honestly believe Philly gave up too much in order to get Harden. That was my greatest thing. I believe Philly should have stand up for a straight up swap, and that should have been it. I believe they give up too much.
Fireball me, you want to?
Me no Cream. You wanted the house and kitchen sink.
All right. So it seems like we will be joined by producer. Can you let in
Let him one Geron Thomas.
let in that guy Geron? I really want to hear what this guy has to say.
Gerard Thomas.
Yeah, Levon. You see him?
Mr. Oz, tell the gentleman to put on some camera because camera is unable. It should enable it.
Oh yeah, man. Enable your cam. Tell him to enable him camera Cream. We need to see a handsome face, boss. We need to see a handsome face. Yes. All right.
Okay.
All right.
The boss in the house. I will shirt that in my van.
Oh my goodness.
Don't do it. No.
All right. So Devin, I want to get your view on this because you are a guy where you live in that space. You're only watching New York Jets, the Brooklyn Nets, and the New York
all
Knicks.
I New York.
That is
All
what
the
you want.
Rangers them watch though.
I want you to tell me, Devin, what is the feel over there in Brooklyn? Are they happy to have Ben Simmons on the roster right now, or is there a little bit of worry going on? One, and two, who do you feel won the trade?
So let me start with the last one. Definitely, I think Brooklyn won the trade. Short term, long term, I just think they won the trade. In the sense that the use of Ben Simmons will be critical, and that's why I think they wanted the extra shooter. So you have Seth there and you have Patimes. So it doesn't look like Joe Harris is coming back for the rest of the season. It doesn't seem so. So we know Ben Simmons' limitation, can't shoot. So when you have the shooters there and you open it up, he can drive, go inside and give you a basket. Playoffs time come when they play the half-court game, it may be less effective, but you have KD, you have Kyrie on the road, and you have all these other shooters. You're surrounding yourself with these other shooters that can make up for Ben Simmons. There's always, we can be critical of that, but the main thing, and I say it on the Thursday night podcast, for the 1 minute the cricket show, Kevs. I don't like the softness of Ben Simmons and this mental thing where he's saying that. I'm not talking. People don't understand when we say mental thing, and we're not talking about problems or
Mental
whatever. It's just
health.
that a part of it in the trade and all around Kems is that the man, what is being reported, I'm telling you what is being reported. You remember that video that you sent to in the WhatsApp group, I'm watch it and watch others. He's physically okay, Kems. They say he's physical because he's been working out, but he has to be consistently going to a therapist to come back to play the game. And I'm like, what kind of problem this man can have? So, for him, I think part of the condition, every day he has to be going to therapist. Devin, every day he should be going to try and work on his shot.
No, so this is it, Devin, right? And I think Ben was using that as a sham so that he didn't get as much fine as
he didn't lose his salary
from the team. Right? I think he was just like how Harden was saying, hamstring. Every day leading up to the trade, it was hamstring, and then no, it seems like he's perfectly fine. So, when
Perfectly
guys
fine.
want to get out of a particular situation,
Okay.
NBA players have told you that. Players will go to the extreme in order to get out of a
To get out of a
situation.
situation. Oh, okay,
But
okay. Okay.
but
So,
let me let
yeah.
me let me get in Gary here real quick,
Mhm.
because I have a lot to talk about with this basketball stuff, and I want before Vincent have to run. So Gary, I want
Mhm.
I want you to tell me, who do you think? I just want you to tell me who you think win the trade and why.
All right. We can't argue that both teams. It depends on which perspective you're looking at it. 'Cause both teams, it can be argued that either won the trade. I'm leaning towards Brooklyn Nets, for all the factors laid out earlier by Cream and also Vincent. When I'm looking at the Brooklyn team, right, they basically got a lot back in return for Harden. Remember, Harden is 32 years of age, right? Um, he's getting older. He's not getting back to that James Harden in Houston. Remember, because when he was in Houston, prolific scoring. You see that he moved, he ate his way out of Houston, pouted, came to Brooklyn. He was playing relatively okay on that offense. He had to share some of the offensive load, so he wouldn't have the same numbers. But picked up an injury, doesn't take care of his body from what I'm seeing. He doesn't look like he goes into the weight room. I don't know if his nutrition is like. So I'm looking at those factors, right? Also going to Philadelphia with a Joel Embiid that also has over the years in his career some health concerns as well. So those two players together, yes, looking on paper, they are two you know Joel Embiid leading the league in scoring. Is prolific, can shoot, dominates on the inside. James Harden, we don't know what version of him will be in Philadelphia and how they will fit. Looking at it from the Brooklyn side, yes, they got Ben Simmons, who we have some, we're not sure about his mental state and how him being afraid to shoot the ball. But remember, they have Kevin Durant. You know what he represents, an all-time great player. Kyrie Irving, his situation is questionable, but yeah, they have shooters surrounding the team. So that seems to be fitting a little bit more, seamless than the actual Philadelphia fit. So I'm leaning towards Brooklyn because of them getting, additional shooter and Seth Curry, and their lineup seems to be good. Um, and even though we don't know the situation with Ben Simmons mentally, we can say that, listen, we don't have to worry about him, focusing on shooting. He should really improve his game by learning to shoot, but there's not as much pressure on him in the Brooklyn setup, as he was in Philadelphia. So I'm leaning towards Philadelphia, Brooklyn winning that trade because of the pieces they got and getting younger and actually, giving up Harden, who is getting old and has some injury concerns.
All right, all right. So let me get to Jaron now, because I really haven't heard his thoughts on this, to be honest. He's a very busy man. Uh, just just let just let you guys know. I'm not even gonna say, but he's a very busy man, right? So Jaron, who do you think? Who do you think won this trade?
So I look at the trade two ways, right?
Yeah,
Current period winners, long term winners.
yeah.
Long term, I'd say Brooklyn won the trade. Curry and I look at the extent. So I don't necessarily look at because you need a roster that actually you need a bench. What Brooklyn was lacking at points there, the dependability of the shooters kind of waned, especially last season. On the flip side, why um, I think they actually got weaker in terms of what they lost in terms of pieces. Millsap and adding to the roster. I don't think that extended Philly's roster, to be honest, especially from a dependability perspective. Adding Drummond, which is an area that Brooklyn definitely lacked the level of depth in terms of ability to rebound, defend. I think the young guy, Claxton or Clayton, he was doing
Claxton.
well. Yeah, but they needed more in the in the front court. So adding Drummond, adding Seth Curry, and Long would have Brooklyn in terms of the result. Ben Simmons with motions.
Well, I'm never boss. I think I'm not really sure. No, I think you're chip in and out.
Connection.
Yeah, chip in and out to
guys,
the connection. No.
Okay.
Probably
Well, at school. Well, I'm at talk in the connection, but I just wanted to get.
Yeah, man. No, like, you want the connection, but give thanks and big up for the comments. Big up for the comments, Jaron. But let me tell you real quick, because I want to touch on the Golden State Warriors before Vincent run away, because that blasted overrated team, I need to talk about them. So hey, let me tell you now. Let me tell you now, for me and who in the tree. Let me tell you. You see, for me, you see short-term business. I think Philadelphia won the trade. Right? Again. For Brooklyn, for me, it's too much questions. It's too much what ifs. All right. What if Ben Simmons do this? What if Ben Simmons do that? How am I going to play Ben Simmons in the last 5 minutes of a close ball game against a Milwaukee, a close ball game against a Philadelphia, a close ball game against a Miami Heat? You know, there's going fall Ben Simmons. He can't shoot free throws. All right. Ben Simmons seems to be stuck in his ways and just feel like, say, okay, well, I can defend well, I can pass well, I can control the tempo well. So whatever I don't do well, somebody else can compensate for that. But I saw it work. Okay, let's talk about Kyrie now. I heard that Brooklyn is going to lift the mandate and they can play home games, all of that. That is still not certain. We don't know what's going to happen. So again, that is another uncertainty. KD now coming back. When KD come back, where is Brooklyn going to be in the standings? Right now they're at 8th.
8th place, 29 and 25.
Right now.
And
they're in the playing tournament. I don't know how that is going to work out. So again, right now, I think Philadelphia is ready to win now. Losing Seth Curry, to me, I don't think that's a big deal, right? Because obviously Seth Curry can shoot, but defensively, I don't know if you guys remember the Hawks series. He was getting barbecue chicken. They put him in the pick and roll every single time, and he was being abused in that series. Andre Drummond, my last thing on Andre Drummond is what I sent to you guys in the group. When LeBron was backing down Jay Crowder, and Andre Drummond doing this, that's my last view of Andre Drummond. I don't think Andre Drummond is something I'm going to rave about. Cream, you sent us the thing about the buyout market. There's a lot of centers in the buyout market. Philly can get a Robin Lopez, probably a Tristan Thompson, somebody who can grab rebounds at a particular clip. I'm not worried about that. So for me, having a superstar player, if you tell me, say Harden, top 15, top 10 player right now, Joel Embiid, top 5, top 7 player, I would pick that over what Brooklyn have. Again, I think Brooklyn thing, emotional-wise, I think that's a whole lot to deal with. But, you know, one thing with sports, the time will come where we will all... Because if I had tell Cream, say, Brooklyn would have never even make it to a conference finals, Cream would have tell me, say, me, I idiot, I'm not have no sense. So, you know, sports will always give you a chance to prove yourself. Now I want to talk about the Golden State Warriors, right? And they are now 41 and 50. They're on a 2-game losing streak. They got blown out by Utah. I think they'll probably lose by 35 or 40 or 45, something like that. You guys can tell me the exact score. And then they lost to the New York Knicks, the poor New York Knicks. Now you tell me now, Gary. Is this a team that I'm supposed to take seriously? I say Hassan Whiteside. I didn't even know that man is still in the NBA. Hassan Whiteside, I said, dominating the Golden State Warriors. Hassan Whiteside. I said Julius Randle taking apart the Golden State Warriors. You know, Steph Curry has been on a bad run for 3 months now. He can't shoot the basketball well. Russell Westbrook has a better field goal percentage than Steph Curry. What are you telling me about this man? So now, you look at this team, Cream. You really think that this team have what it takes to make it to the NBA Finals and win it all? Be honest, man.
Let me talk to you, man, Cream.
Yeah, Vincent,
the man sound like Stephen A. Smith a while ago.
Yeah,
With all the movements.
yeah. Just been shouting now, eh?
Step in them part.
I
Step in them part.
don't appreciate the shouting and I don't appreciate the slandering of the Golden State Warriors. So if you're going to listen, if you're going to slander them, I shall remove you as the host. I remainder of the show and let Devin host it.
They have to play better ball.
I don't know why Kems have a problem with what is happening. I don't know why Kems is talking about Golden State lose to New York. The Suns lost to Sacramento. The Suns have lost games to some teams. You understand? It happened throughout the season. No matter how good that team is, they have losses throughout the season. And the truth is, the Golden State, yes, Curry has not been playing well. Green has been out, and they are trying to work back Clay within the lineup. Yeah. I don't think them have a problem. Not at this stage. You understand? I don't think them have a problem. That is my take. In fact, they just come off a 9-game. Wasn't a 9-game winning streak before they lost. 8-game winning streak before they lost.
But who
before
did they,
New York.
Who did they play those?
It doesn't matter. You beat who is put in
No.
front of you. You beat who is put in front.
Listen, Vincent. You can't.
I'm not work with that, you know. I'm not work with it. I'm not work with the people who's in front of your business, you know.
But earlier, you know, Devin just.
You tell me you lose against teams. You tell me you lose against teams.
Yeah, you do.
NBA.
Right.
Yeah, so some of the one you give them
you know, but remember, you know, I think Devin, you was talking earlier, or I don't know if it's Gary, when the guy was talking about Suns. And the fact that person say, oh, they look out to get to the finals and this team lost and that. And we all said, you beat the team that is in front of you. Right now, I get what you're saying in the Devon. I get what you're saying. The fact that you have to beat good teams. We have seen Golden State beat good teams. Golden State has beat Suns twice. The only team that has beat the Suns teams twice this year is the Golden State Warriors. You understand? So... calm yourself down, Mr. Voice. Calm yourself down. You understand? You're sounding like Steve Naismith. Calm yourself down. As Aaron Rodgers, your favorite Aaron Rodgers would say, relax. RELAX. Relax.
Hey, listen to me. Right now, as much as I'm not a big fan of Memphis, right? Mm-hmm. Memphis right now,
they're dangerous.
They're leading Charlotte by about 30 points right now.
They're dangerous.
So right now, Memphis, right now.
One desperate and him run gone for Memphis and John Morant.
Him take a transfer for LA. You know this man have no about him.
This man is a hop on wagon all board. Hop on the wagon.
Just to prove a point, the man just jump up.
That's the main reason why I won't accept any sort of landering from Kim's in regards to Golden State, because Kim just jump on wagons all about just to feel good and feel good factor. So don't
whatever is hot, whatever is hot in jump on it.
Absolutely not. Remember, I tell you guys, with more information, my opinion.
Give me a break.
I don't care.
Like that thought there.
So Kim's who did they beat in that hate match and beat them? So they beat the Jazz, they beat Mavericks,
right,
and they beat Timberwolves and also Nets in that.
All right, so that's
the Nets.
Remember,
no,
because remember they lose to Jazz, then they lose to New York. And you have been harping and the just 2 losses that they make. So if they beat Jazz, accept that as a victory, sir.
You see that 8-game winning streak, Kems? When they beat Dallas, I don't think Luka was playing. Right?
So, all right, Devin, is it that you and Peter? Just 1 second, Devin. Is it that you and Kems saying that Golden State have not beat anybody this season?
Yeah, when they beat the big.
All right,
what we're arguing about?
Maybe I argue a different thing, you know. But you see,
Devin, he was playing though, actually.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
so Devin, you consider Golden State a dangerous team?
They're a dangerous team, but I don't think they're title contenders.
Wow.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I don't think I like. All right.
We kind of disagree with that, you know. Out west or generally? Out west. West is
Hold on,
not.
let Devin.
Yo,
Give
Oh,
Devin
go
a
on, go on.
chance to talk. Go
All right.
ahead, Devin.
so when I look at what everybody was saying, working Clay and Clay come back, and then there are two things I don't. I don't like narratives created by media when they like certain people and they just ignore certain things. All right. When I look at Clay come back and you see the good shooting games, he had a good shooting game against Sacramento. Sacramento don't play defense. Don't play defense in this world. With Sacramento, you just run up and go score upon them. Me, we can't play basketball, can score some points on Sacramento. Right? So that's the game you go, and then everybody was, Clay had a good game. Good. Then other games when go up against better defense, play the same amount of minutes. Because coach are giving him same amount of minutes. Okay, he's working himself back into a thing. You know what I mean? So I don't like them kind of narrative. You know, Steph Curry just having a awful shooting slump.
Awful 3
Everybody
months.
saying, yeah, good time, yeah, good run. You know what I mean? And it's like that just go under the radar. So now, when I look at it and compare it to the Phoenix Suns and the depth, you know, I think Phoenix is much more dangerous than them and a better title contender than them. And then the talk was about Wiseman coming back and he can be a better inside presence. The way I see Hassan Whiteside beat down and lonely, right? And on them guys there, I don't think Wiseman can come in and be a big stop to any other guy who can put a guy like Whiteside. Remember, you have much. Not even centers nor forward better than Whiteside in the league can put up points. You know?
Yeah, man. Remember, Aiton killed Golden State, you know.
Yeah, so I'm saying they're a good team. They'll do them thing, but I don't think in terms of winning the title, they are that a title favorite as other people are making them out to be. I'm not taking away anything from them, but that's just what I think.
I just said this before my run, Kims. In terms of what Devin just said, I will agree with him. The fact that Clay has been 2 years, and no person is hoping that he can come back. The truth is, it really does take some time to get into basketball game shape. You understand? It does take some time, and to be 2 full seasons, it's a tall ask.
Yeah,
so I will agree with that. Whiteside has been out almost going a season now. So I agree. I will agree with Devin. Wiseman. I mean. So I will agree with Devin that yes, there is some serious question marks in terms of championship for Golden State Warriors. You understand? Because 2 major pieces that they need will take time, and we don't know if they will get back to fully game shape before playoffs or even during the playoffs. So I will accept.
One last thing, Vincent, before you go. Because you pass a lot of and I tell you, say, when I discuss basketball with you, so you make sure you run from the podcast. I'm going to discuss basketball after the after. But listen, when it comes on to the Phoenix Suns, you made a point there that got me really upset, where you say, if DeAndre Ayton can do that, and he did that all finals. Remember, CP3 had 19 assists against the defending champions. That is said for something. Remember, I told you, Vincent. Vincent. Remember, I told you, JaVale McGee. I said JaVale McGee, Bismack Biyombo, and DeAndre Ayton. What Phoenix did was that they fixed up where they were deficient in the finals. And I'm telling you, you saw how Giannis struggled. 18 points, 5 of 14 from the field, absolutely struggling because you're throwing different bodies at him. And but then all people... go ahead.
But the truth, Kems, is, where is Buck Center? We know. What's his name? Bobby Portis. No, but Bobby Portis. Not defensively.
In terms of
offensively, he's better. He will step out and get the 3. You understand? But not defensively.
He's not even a center.
No, he's solid, but he's not
even a center, Kim.
He's not a typical thing. Yeah, he's a power forward.
You have to give the man some.
No, but in the finals, remember, in the finals, DeAndre Ayton was giving Brook Lopez barbecue chicken, I don't know if you remember.
I remember.
I don't know if you remember that, Vincent. So when you're asking me about...
I am not saying that Suns isn't a better team, Kims, because they are playing much better than they were last year. Even when they played LA last year in the first round, LA really should have won that match, even if AD was even half fit. I don't believe even not fully fit, if it was the same LA side this year and this Sun side, as this Sun side looked like they would beat that LA side last year easily. That's how good they have looked this year. So I will give you that. I'm not saying taking anything away from what they are doing, how they are doing. Each player seems to have gotten a lot better, and that is a fact.
All right, boss. All right. So I know you have to leave. Thank you for
Yes,
your time, boss. You know, we'll talk about the Super Bowl tomorrow for sure.
definitely.
All right, boss. All right, Gary. So I know
Mhm.
you wanted to. I know you wanted to go back and talk about Golden State. So now is your time because you know you want to say Golden State is.
No,
You say you disagree with Devin. So go ahead.
no. All I was saying, out west, based on what is happening now, and I'm saying Phoenix as a class, and themselves, and I don't think that person's all right enough. Golden State. I hear us talking like they are not a contender. Remember, every season you have prohibited favorites and you have contenders. That doesn't necessarily mean the teams are going to win, but they are just in the mix as one of the favorites. Nobody can say that Golden State is not a title contender. They're probably not the prohibited or the number one. Oh, West Phoenix is a class, unto themselves. Now I'm looking at the West, and I'm just looking at it this season. Not talking about the traditional the previous season. I don't see anybody coming out. Phoenix and Golden State are the two best teams in the West. When you look at the other teams, you look at Memphis. Yeah, they're playing nicely. You look at Utah. Utah is not special to me. You know that when it comes to playoffs, they're gonna choke. They're not doing anything. Denver, they're out. Michael Porter Jr. is out with Murray. I don't know when these guys come back and getting into the mix. Going down the stretch, there's a lot of uncertainty with the Western Conference in terms of the teams and how they are playing. So I'm looking at Golden State, even though they are about 4 games back off Phoenix in the West. I'm not gonna worry to say that, all right, they're not gonna do anything in the playoffs. Once it comes down the line, crunch time comes in the playoffs, they will be among the cream of the crop coming out. So they and Phoenix are the favorites to come out of the West. I don't really see anybody challenging them because all the other teams, there are some question marks as well, even more than even Golden State. So,
All right.
mhm.
All right. You're talking now. But I think the Lakers actually is going to make it to the conference finals versus
Listen up, and
the Phoenix
I
Suns.
believe that the tooth fairy may have a wisdom teeth, and the tooth fairy will carry one teeth come give me tonight.
All right.
So,
So another thing I want to talk about before we run. Another thing I want to talk about. I want to talk about the All-Star selections, right? I want to talk about the All-Star selections. I'll start with you, Cream. Who do you think picked the better team? LeBron or KD? And what do you think about the whole All-Star selection? Is there anyone out there who you thought was snubbed from the All-Star?
In terms of both teams, I don't know. I think both teams kind of seem balanced. LeBron seemed to draft more at the big men, and KD have more of the scorers and shooters. I would say than LeBron. I think it kind of balance between both teams. In terms of who got snubbed, who got snubbed? Who could have?
I think Jarrett Allen. I think he got snubbed. I think
Yes.
he got
Allen.
snubbed. Yeah, I think he was good. But you see the thing with the All-Star cream, I believe that. Like so much guys are playing good, man. Somebody always ever gets
I guess
snubbed.
snub, yeah.
Somebody always ever
I
gets
was I guess
snubbed.
snub, yeah. Everybody
So
can make it. So
yeah,
because
everybody can make it.
even if KD was available, Tatum wouldn't be there,
Yeah.
or
He wouldn't be a starter.
oh yeah, and
Yeah, but then somebody one name they would have missed it. Lamelo.
Lamelo Ball, yeah,
Yeah,
wouldn't get
Lamelo
interest
Ball would
call
have
up.
missed it.
So
And then
somebody
if
would have.
Draymond was there, then what about the name again? Who get it? From
Uh,
the West.
Jamal Murray. No, sorry, not Jamal. The
Yeah,
Spurs guy. Spurs guy.
Dejounte Murray.
the
Dejounte.
John
Yeah,
Murray, from
yeah,
Spurs.
yeah. So he would have
He
missed
got
out as
called
well,
up.
and he was playing fantastic basketball. Obviously, his
He's
team sucked
19 and 8.
and so.
Yeah,
All
man.
right, Devin, how about you? How do you feel about the All-Star teams? Because a lot of persons were saying, boy, KD is such a bad GM. He doesn't know how to pick teams. LeBron getting all the stars. the Luka Doncic, Chris Paul, you know,
Like,
Miami
like,
gets, you know. Mhm.
like for me, you see, the part about the snubs, I don't work with the snubs because with All Star, everybody, right, if you say somebody was snub, somebody may come and make a better case for somebody, and it's always a better case because there's so many great players. So the only thing I
Absolutely.
always look at is just the starters. Some of the times people make some ridiculous thing with these starting thing and this voting thing, but
Yeah.
I have no problem with the reserves. It's just that I'm more interested in like with the starters, and then the whole thing we talk about it with people knocking Wiggins, but based on positions, I think, and I was having some reservation. I may double down on that a little bit to say that I think Wiggins deserves his spot. But in terms of the GM and them picking the team, I think overall the best. They're equally matched team to me. You know what I mean? When I look at it, and the best thing out of it was just the whole fact that KD avoided
Yeah,
avoided
James
James.
Harden.
I'm
Not
gonna keep
just my
going. I'm
take,
gonna keep
just
going.
avoided James. But if I was to go for a team, I'm gonna go for. I would go for the
Yeah,
team
LeBron.
with LeBron. I'll go for the team with LeBron. I'll
Okay.
go for like to winning the game overall and picking the team. LeBron and Giannis and Steph Curry along with DeRozan and Jokic. Yeah, that's a winning team. Just
Remember,
look at the stats.
remember when Giannis playing All Star game, you know, say All Star game, you think it's a real game.
It's a real game.
You think it's a
Yeah,
real
that's
game
I
not
because
remember
that's
man,
not
I
true.
go.
MVP.
Yeah.
I think
Because
I him get MVP last season.
I know with the
Not
first
MVP,
pick,
All Star MVP.
I know he was gonna be the number one pick either by KD or LeBron. Whoever get number one, they might pick Giannis first.
Yeah,
Because
but like
that man,
I don't know.
yeah,
I'm KD though. KD with him picking at its starters.
yeah,
Awful.
Yeah.
yeah, that really, you know, some picks, some make KD all a pick Jason Tatum, and I'm not saying Jason Tatum is not a good player, but come on, guy, like, you know, like, come on. All right, how about another thing I want to talk about really quickly is the 3-point competition, the All-Star 3-point competition, and I'm going to tell you guys the participants, and you just tell me who you guys think is going to win. So, Cream, you
Yeah.
first. So, Patty Mills from your team,
Yep.
Luke Kennard, Fred Van Vliet, Carl Anthony Towns, Desmond Baines, Zach Lavine, Trey Young, CJ McCollum. Who do you think will win this 3-point contest?
I think I'm gonna go with either Bain or who did you call after Kennard?
Fred Van Vliet.
Or the man from Toronto, yeah.
All right. How about you, Devin?
Sorry, but they kind of get distracted. Like, what are the names again? Come on.
For the 3-point contest, CJ McCollum, Trey Young, Zach Lavine, Desmond Bain.
Trey
Young?
about it. Yeah.
Oh. How about
Trey.
you, Mr. Dixon?
I'm looking at the list. You know, these things, I don't even know, because these things coming out to cheer low. I'm looking at Van Fleet, between Van Fleet and Trey, like in Trey. But I'll go with Van Fleet. I think.
So no love for Carl Anthony Towns? No love for the big man?
No.
I don't feel it like, because these competitions sometimes about, you know, rhythm. I don't know. He can win it, but I don't see him winning it. I don't feel
All
it.
right. So I'm picking Zach Lavine to win, but my dark horse is going to be Desmond Bain, because nobody's expecting Bain to do anything really.
Yep.
So
He's been shooting the ball really well too. He's been shooting really well, so he has a good shot, man.
All right. What about the dunk contest? You know, I think
the dunk every year it gets.
I think something needs to be done about the dunk.
True. Them they don't know what else to do. I think it's just played. I don't know.
Might as well they bring in like professional dunkers to come on and put on a show for the people, yeah, man. Because these guys.
I don't know what the dunk contest.
So these are the participants. Obi Toppin from the Knicks, Jalen Green from the Rockets, Cole Anthony from the Magics, one Toscana Anderson from the Warriors. Like
Right.
these names don't even get me excited. Like I don't even
Not
think
those
I'm.
names.
You know when you talk about Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon and you say, oh
Yeah.
shoot, you know these
That year
guys.
was a good year. That was a good year.
So
Yeah.
just really quickly,
Okay.
who do you guys think is going to win? I'm going to go with Cole Anthony from the Magics. I think he's the smallest guy out there, so I think they'll want to see him do something amazing. So I'll go for him.
Maybe Jalen Green.
All right. How about you, Devin?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Cole Anthony guy just for the factor, It just remind me of when that guy that they win it. What the sharp guy the name again? He used to play for Denver. And he going to fight the other day and then thump him down.
Oh, Nate Robinson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Taller than Nate. Yeah, I'm like when the small guy them going, because he's just that because him so small, yeah. You expect him to do something great.
Absolutely. All right, so now obviously, we reached that time. We've been talking Kramer were here long before you talking about some NFL.
Okay.
But last thing, Cream, is there any trade that you saw occurred where you'll be like, man, that team got better? I'll start really quickly while you think. My trade will be the Cleveland Cavaliers getting Caris LeVert. I think that was a big pickup, and they only really run away Ricky Rubio, who was already out for the season. And right now Cleveland is second in the East. Believe it or not, they're second in the East. I think they'll make the playoffs, but the East is really jumbled from 1 to 8. They're really jumbled right there. Anything can happen. So
I liked Bucks getting Ibaka.
Serge Ibaka,
yeah, I think for the role that they want him to play, I think it's gonna be a good fit for them. And the moves that Clippers made for next season, they're gonna be a very deep team when Paul George and Kawhi return.
Getting Norman Powell and
Covington.
Yeah, from Blazers.
They're gonna be a deep team, man.
Absolutely. How about you, Devin? Any trade that, apart from the Harden and the Brooklyn trade, any trade that pop out at you where you say, boy, let me watch that team?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I love Dallas trade because you get Porzingis off. That means
off the books. Yep.
Yo, off the books for high salary plus. I'm man hardly going to play games for you. I'm hardly going to play games for you. And to me, if you get anybody else, that's a good trade. Just because you get rid of Porzingis. Plus, look at it now. On paper, who did they get? They get Spencer Dinwiddie, good player. And they get Bertans who can shoot the 3 ball. He's a streaky shooter. Sometimes he will give you 5-3, 6-3 in a game. And the next game, he struggles to make a shot. But, it can be a good outside shooter. And then with Hardaway Jr. out too, he can come in and try and feed in that thing. So I like that. I like it more. And it's no disrespect to Spencer Dinwiddie and Bertans. It's just more that Porzingis is out, man. Because that man can't stay healthy, Kems.
Man coming like a glass bucket. Look at it. I
was just about to ask you guys, because Kems, I remember Robbie brought it up, I think, a couple of podcasts ago, right? And he was saying that Luka needs some help over there. So know that they have Porzingis off the books. Who you think could possibly come into that mixer to add some real quality as a second superstar to that team?
All right, so what Jason Kidd had said, right? Because he had interviewed Jason Kidd about the trade. What Jason Kidd had said was, it's like the same team that they had in 2011 when they won the championship. He said that they don't want a second star, but they want players playing their role at a high level. If you remember, Dirk was the star. They had Jason Kidd on that team, Sean Marion on that team. A lot of players who were playing over
JJ
Barea, Jason Terry.
Yeah.
They were
Chandler, Tyson Chandler and those guys.
Tyson Chandler, all them guys. I think probably that's the blueprint, Jason Kidd. And we've heard a lot of reports about Porzingis not being happy that he's a second star, doesn't want to defer to Luka. Come on. Luka is much better than you.
And he doesn't play all the time. That don't make no sense.
Come out of the place.
But
went from
Kems,
today NBA. Nah, go reckon
Right?
today's end.
Well, Kems, you run gone over Washington. We want to play second fiddle soon because right now Kyle Kuzma is the man.
Yeah, Kuzma gonna be the man. It's hard for
Well,
them to take
I
away
Kuzma
mean,
deal.
from Kuz.
no, Kuzma definitely not the man. Let's not play ourselves.
He
But
is the man right now, man.
Kuzma,
From
No
Bradley
man,
Beal
right
gone,
now how he's
from
no,
playing,
Beal gone
I
down.
wouldn't say. Come on, Kims.
no, no,
Kuzma,
bro.
Beal, and KP.
When you're on a bad
Big
team,
three.
when you're on a bad team, especially if Bradley Beal is out, when you're on a bad team, obviously you're going to do some stuff because somebody needs to score the points, somebody needs to grab the rebounds, somebody needs to do something. But I think Kuzma, all right, Kuzma, go ahead. But Gary,
Yeah, that,
He's playing well.
Gary,
He's playing well.
Gary,
Yeah.
the question I'm asked Devin a while ago.
Yeah.
Trades. Is there any trade that stand out to you?
There were some all the trades that occurred. Over the trade deadline. Some I liked a few of them. I like the trade, because we see Portland cleaning house. I like the pieces that the Clippers got. No, this season is basically not they're not going to be a title contender with Kawhi. I don't think he's coming back. So for the future, they will get better. So I like their trades. I'm acquiring those two players from the Blazers and Norman Paul. But you made mention about the Lavert trade. I like that for Cleveland, especially with them playing so well in the East. I don't think they are contender, but they just got better. And as I said, in the East, you can create some noise and play spoiler. So I like their trade. And Ricky Rubio has not been playing; he's been out. So their trade also stood out to me, and I'd give them the edge.
All right, so guys, here is Chris, the sports guy. Porzingis is injury prone. He can't be the man to me. Obviously, totally agree with that, Chris. So guys, the Warriors are going to play against the Lakers.
Yeah, much. So if they beat Lakers now, does that count?
You tell me. The Lakers beat the Knicks. The Lakers beat the Knicks and the Knicks beat the Warriors. You tell me.
Warriors up 7. The game start already.
Yeah,
Warriors up 7 already.
Yeah,
14-7.
Lakers have to try and finish within the top 10. I hope them can stay in the playing tournament because them just a free fall like whoa. I don't even know.
Gentlemen, so really quickly, I'm going to give you 30 seconds. Anything that you just want to talk about, if you want to big up your wife, or baby mommy, or Valentine, you want to send out your Valentine's greetings, now is the time. You have 30 seconds to just go ahead and say whatever you want to say. Devin, go ahead, boss.
Well, just the Super Bowl tomorrow. That's all I want to say. Super Bowl, and I'm hoping for Beckham to get a touchdown. Yeah, win some money. That's all. That's why I'm Beckham to get a touchdown. Absolutely.
Gary, go ahead.
Yeah, it's a big Super Bowl weekend. The atmosphere is here, and I'm looking to quality teams. I think the ratings for the Super Bowl this year is gonna be good. But I'm looking for a quality SoFi Stadium, LA, the stars, superstars will be out, all the movie stars, big thing, you know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to a very good game tomorrow. Yeah, so I'm liking the story of the Bengals because I'm a big Joey B fan. Joe Cool. I know you don't like Bengals and bad mind Joey B. But as I said, I won't be disappointed either way. I really like the Bengals. I want them to win if the Rams wins. No problem. It's just that once Kansas City Chiefs don't win the Super Bowl, I'm good to go.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because yeah.
All right. Cream.
Yeah, man, looking forward to a good game tomorrow. Hopefully it's a close one, exciting and everything. And definitely I'm looking forward to see how the rest of the NBA season play out with these new trades, especially Brooklyn and Philly. That's going to be a nice rivalry now, because both teams hate each other now.
Exactly. And you guys look out for the game. The game is March 10th. So you guys circle that game. That is March 10th. Philly versus Brooklyn. Yeah. I hope Ben Simmons is back because the game will be in Philly. So,
in Philly, okay.
I know Ben Simmons.
Just look for the Philly crowd, man. The Philly crowd. Listen,
He
He
needs
might
them
need
too.
a therapist. You think him therapist are gonna have work after that game? If him, can you know that the crowd are
He
gonna pass
needs to
every
just
time.
go and get it over with. Just go play and get it over with. Because
Absolutely.
whether you play now or in a playoff, you have to
Them
go.
listen,
Yeah,
them never forget, especially Philly crowd, Philly and New York markets. When them ready to get by him, man. Trust me.
Just
all
go
right.
there.
Well, mhm.
Yeah, man.
Definitely. Big up to the producer. Thank you for everybody who was watching in the comment section. You guys have a great Super Bowl, a great Valentine's Day. You know, ensure say you know take out on a wife, on a girlfriend, on a boyfriend, on a grandfather, on a father. Everybody, no, no, but as I said, the general
Oh,
public.
yeah, general.
No.
No,
All right,
no.
gentlemen.
Scream it
Have a
so
good night.
everybody must. All right.